Okay, well, a little bit of a break, unfortunately, in the stream. For some reason, my internet connection decided to shunt again here in the commentary box. Not quite sure why. And for some reason, whilst I can see the server, as case in point, I cannot connect to our streaming service. But I do not want to let this race go to waste due to stupid technical issues like that, because right now Michael Moning is on target to make Case King Pro Series history, and I do not want this man's moment missed in this one. We have some fantastic fights up and down the order in the field, and right now the number 15 car still keeping at bay George Boothby, the winningest driver in Case King Pro Series history, putting a lot of pressure on board the number 15 car as he continues on into the middle sector. A lot of fighting as well further down the order. Oh, there's contact! There's contact, and that was Henrik Gamble that's being sent around. It was getting rather dicey between those cars further down the order. And Henrik Gamble sent around, has got going again, but that is not what he would have wanted. It was all getting very busy. There you can see it's Timo Carpenter at the front of it. As we head on in towards turn 1, into the braking zone they went. I think, oh, it was 2 bits of contact. I think it was the Honda of, who was it? I think the Aston Martin, of Lucas Roda, went into the back of Valentin Barrier. That then nudged into Henrik Gamble, although it's all still kicking off. Lucas Roda and Sam Gaskell scrabbling away as well. Roda managing to just about hold on to position. Korekas further down the order as well. And as they continue on, they will continue their fight to the end. And we will see how it progresses for these drivers. Through turn 13. In towards the final corner. You'd have to think advantage would be in favour of the Lamborghini there, if it was to make it happen. As Korekas and Philip Manar go side by side once again, bringing Nicholas Huben into the equation as well. Korekas trying to go all the way around the outside. There's a little bit of contact between these two. Nicholas Huben, last week's race winner, could have a seriously good chance here. There you saw the touch of the brakes from the Lithuanian driver, but Nicholas Huben, he's patient. He waits for his opportunity to come in an easier, neatly packaged moment like that, as George Boothby, who has those fresher tyres dialed in up to temperature, is really hassling the back of Michael Moning now, who is under immense amounts of pressure. 6.5 minutes left to go in this race. And right now, he's just got to keep that number 1 car behind, but Boothby is on the charge, on the attack, and is desperate to try to see if he can get himself to the top step of the podium. 2 identical cars making their way out of the final couple of corners. And George Boothby there, 0.4 of a second. He needs to be closer than that if he is going to make it happen. Number 1 Veloce car, though, isn't having the opportunities he needs in the opening sector, which is where he ideally needs to try to square up that overtake, because that is where the opportunities tend to happen around this circuit. But we have seen on more than one occasion so far this evening it go the way of drivers in the middle sector. Michael Moning pushing the track limits as it stands in towards the chicane. They go. Look how aggressive George Boothby is through that part of the lap. He is leaving nothing up for chance. He is giving it absolutely everything. Marco Bischoff, I think, has just made this move stick over the Aston Martin of Sasha Vasta further down the order. But The Aston Martin just not quite enough in the tank to be able to have a go. Oh, that was a bit of a wide moment for George Boothby there. Let's see what happened to the man. The P2 deep under brakes. We get a face for the banner through that moment. But he does manage to keep it all together and keeps charged on. But is that the race defining moment? It's opened up to a second now, the gap between these two. Just 4 minutes on the clock left to go. 3 laps remaining. He charges along. We'll see what he is capable of delivering. Vincent Proel pushing on as well as they come through the final moments of this race. Number 28 car hunting for an opportunity. He's been in the thick of the action so far today. But just isn't able to make his way through on that Aston Martin at the moment. Marco Bischoff has cleared Sasha Vassner now, making his way to the end of the race. Hasn't been the easiest of evenings for the German driver, but seeing his teammate up in P3 at the moment, he'll be a bit frustrated about the lack of pace he has compared to the number 14 car. No reader, especially over one lap, has in recent months been the benchmark within that Team Nitro squad, but it's certainly now transitioning into race form as well. And now Narita in with a very good shot of getting a podium, as meanwhile again at the same place that Marco Bischoff went around earlier on, the Mustang has lost it again. What has happened to the German driver? Continuing on nicely. And now as they come in towards the chicane, through they go, over the curb, and there you go. Mirror image mistake to what we saw earlier on in the race. Just hasn't managed to bring it all together. I don't know whether maybe there was a difference between those two cars' suspension settings. But something really not dialed in about that car and driver combination. They push on then to the end of the race. Just a couple of laps left to go. A fantastic fight here developing for P6. Carlo's predictions were for this driver, the leader of this pack, Jack Alexander in the Mustang, to maybe go for a podium. He is several seconds away from that. And in fact, all he is trying to do is hold on to this one. Meanwhile, one last lap to go after this one. George Boothby has reeled in Michael Moning once more and is desperately trying to find a way through. A mistake from Michael Moning. The Lamborghini, I think ahead, has gone around, had a half spin. It's caught Michael Moning out, but he will hold on to the lead on towards the final lap of this race. He took pole position and first for North America in the Case King Pro Series. He came off the back of last week at Silverstone, where he rose into the podium positions for the very first time. And now, with the winningest driver in Case King Pro Series history, he has the #1 place of George Boothby hunting all over the rear of his car, trying to see if he can add another one to his tally. And whilst unfortunately those at home supporting Michael won't be able to see it live, hope that this moment can still be captured and lived if he does go to bring home. What a drive it's been so far from him. Under pressure though, cannot afford to make any mistakes. He knows it. This chicane, tricky. Oh, it is absolutely nose to tail through there. George Boothby all over the rear diffuser of Michael Moning. This is going to be one of the closest finishes that we have ever had in the Pro Series. And Michael is just trying to keep it together for one final set of corners. A little bit squiffy through a chicane, a little bit squiffy into the final sector, but George Boothby is running out of corners, is running out of opportunities. His way went wide a couple of laps ago. No such moment this time around as Michael Moning 2 corners away from glory. It would have to be a send and a half from George Boothby, who tried the overcut to apply the pressure to the man in the lead. It certainly brought him back into the fight, but it didn't bring him back close enough. And Michael Moning is going to make history and win here at Hungary. And a delighted Mustang it is indeed. One very, very happy man. And that's a lot of victory wiggles and a slide and a half for the 8 as well. What a drive! And does it in fashion at turn 1 as well. Boothby and Ida will round out your podium. The fight for these positions, P6 still go to Alexander. Hard fought until the end. Vanzi Barrier trying to apply the pressure to Timu Karppinen as well. Goes to the end, and we have managed to actually reconnect. Oh, that is absolutely typical. Somehow, we are back live once again, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I've captured on video the end of this race, but unfortunately, the live stream reinstated just a little bit later. For some reason, whilst I could stay in the server, I was unable to actually join the broadcast. So the moments for Michael Moning winning this race will be relived on YouTube, but he has done it against all of that pressure, all of the odds from George Boothby to the end of this race, has managed to deliver. And what a drive it has been from the American. He makes history here at Hungary for the 4th round of the championship, and that is an absolutely mighty drive from the number 15 car to hold off one of the very best that this championship has ever seen. An incredible feat from him, and I'm sure that is going to be one very, very happy man in the Discord when we bring him in for an interview in just a moment. Absolutely fantastic stuff from Michael Moning, and I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of tension, a lot of relief coming from him as well, because he has had to fight very, very hard for that race win after taking pole position. That was one thing. That was half of the work done. But to convert it into a race victory was a whole nother feat indeed. And whilst unfortunately we couldn't see the last lap on stream, we did at least manage to see it come to the battle to the line, and we will get to speak to him live on stream. For those supporting him at home, we will be able to chat to him as well. I don't know if Noah Reader is going to be popping in for an interview anytime soon, as we'll have to wait and see if he does come in, because he took P3. A fantastic result there for the Team Nitro car indeed. But certainly the main glory goes to that incredible duel between Michael Moning and George Boothby to the end of the race. They were in a class of their own from the start until the end. But we will look to bring in the man that finished P2 after a very, very hard-fought battle all the way to the final few corners. George, you gave it absolutely everything to the line, but Michael just had a smidge extra over you. Hungary, such a difficult place to overtake, and I think that showed itself in buckets today. You threw everything at it. P2, still a fantastic result. How are you feeling after that one?
Yeah, I'm feeling great because, like, I know it's probably the fort across the whole grid, but this track is just like, I don't know, there's not many people I know that like it, apart from Luke Whitehead. Luke Whitehead loves this track for some reason, but yeah, it's a difficult one. A lot of us don't put too much practice into it, so whenever there's like a league race here, things get a bit crazy. So because you got some people that are a bit out of practice, or more silly mistakes happen. Also with that chicane as well. Like, some cars take it well, some cars don't, and even the cars that take it well, sometimes by surprise, you can get sent to the moon. So it's just a pretty wild track, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You know, the elephant in the room, the Ford was obviously really fast here today, so that helped me a lot. But yeah, had a really good fight. I tried everything to try and get past Moning. I did like I did a few laps longer to try and have fresher tires, and I just couldn't do it. There was a few little opportunities here and there, but he defended perfectly. And hindsight, I did 2 extra laps more than him. If I'd have just done 1, I would have got the overcut. But hindsight's 2020. So yeah, good stuff to Moning. He absolutely deserves that today.
Yeah, a very, very closely fought battle all the way to the end of that race. Now, I have to say that considering the nature of this circuit, it's so grip dependent, so many, bits of twisty stuff around here as well. I really thought the undercut was going to be more powerful, but the overcut strategy came in surprisingly strong, and like I say, if you timed it slightly differently, could have actually put you in the net race lead. Was that something you were expecting? Do you think did you go into it knowing that the overcut was going to put you in that much of a strong position, or was it a little bit of a surprise when that sort of 2-second gap suddenly came down to just a matter of tenths?
Yeah, because he was like over a second ahead of me as he went into the pits. So in my head, I was like, "There's no way I can make this overcut work. Like, it's just not on. I'm just gonna run out my laps and fresh tires to the end." But yeah, to then see me come out the pit and he's almost alongside me, I was like, "Oh, I didn't expect it to be that strong." But it's what it is. Maybe he had a poor pit stop. I don't know, but it's just you can't predict those things, sadly, sometimes.
Yeah, it is a very tricky thing indeed. Of course, like you say, this circuit full of surprises across a wide variety of means, because the Mustang, whilst it was a very strong car today, we saw even like some Marco Bischoff get taken out by that chicane on 2 separate occasions. So certainly one that was playing havoc up and down the field. But an incredible battle to the end with, of course, your major involvement through the race in that one. A fantastic result to get another podium finish, championship consistency again, strong in the early phase of the season, all important points being built up. Next week, going to the Nürburgring, of course, a very different circuit by nature with its own funky chicane to tackle there. Any thoughts and feelings over how that one may go for you?
I really like the Nürburgring in this car, so I'm looking forward to it. This car can take the chicane in a really weird way, like the Mercedes, so you'll see us cutting a lot, a little bit more than normal, so that'll be quite interesting on the broadcast. But yeah, I think we can do well. I think it's another good round, hopefully, and just keep racking up some points for the championship.
Absolutely fantastic stuff today. George gave us a wonderful battle of the ages, one of the closest finishes that we have had in the Case King Pro Series, and congratulations to you for a very well deserved P2. Great to talk to you again, and best of luck next week when we head to the Nürburgring.
Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers, George. Have a good one. Great stuff to talk to the man that finished P2. Now, before we head over to our race winner, we will talk to the driver that finished P3 in that race. Noah Eder returning to the podium in a new car as well. The Mustang is, of course, a strong car around here at Hungary today, but your teammate Marco Bischoff running into trouble about chicane on a couple of occasions whilst you were dialed in straight away from qualifying all the way to the end of the race. A fantastic podium from you. How are you feeling after that one?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling really great because last races went pretty bad. So a podium feels really good. Again, to be back on the podium, it feels really, really good.
Absolutely, I could imagine. And such a tricky and technical circuit. It's one of those ones where it can bite you quite severely when it goes wrong, but it's so rewarding when you're hooked up around here. Now, unfortunately, in contrast to yourself, your teammate Marco, he had a bit of a torrid time. I don't know if you were in voice chat together during that race, but if you were, I imagine that you perhaps were aware of his shenanigans of a chicane on a couple of occasions. The car unfortunately bouncing on the exit of that second apex and sending him around twice. Yourself, did you feel that was a nervous vulnerability in the car, the setup, when you were going through that? I'm not sure, was there anything different in the setups between your cars, or was it just that fine line of how you drive this circuit, of how quickly it can go from a quick run through a chicane to one that then puts you into a spin and a bit of a disaster?
Yeah, to be honest, it's one certain line you have to nail every lap to be fast in the chicane. And if you, if you don't get the line, then you just bounce. And I didn't spin at all, also in practice not, so I don't know how this went. To be honest, I also didn't see the incident from Marco, so I will have to check it later. But yeah, it's one certain line, and if you don't nail it, then it's super slow, or you can spin in worst case.
Yeah, it's a punishing circuit is the Hungaroring. It's a very fun one, but a punishing one without a shadow of a doubt. But yes, a fantastically deserved podium from you. We're going to be heading to the Nürburgring for the next round of the Case King Pro Series. Because a very different circuit. George Boothby giving us a bit of a heads up that apparently the Mustang could be pretty handy around there again, especially through that final chicane. Is it one that you're looking forward to as well?
I don't know. I until today I didn't like the Ford at all because it's so special to drive. And yeah, but I mean the Ford is just a quick car, but you have to have the ability to drive this this car fast. So I don't know if I'm looking forward, but today I also didn't look forward for the race, but then it went pretty well. So I'm letting surprise myself.
It's it's amazing. Yeah, when you have a race like that where the car finally maybe feels like it's giving you what you wanted it to, then it inspires that confidence that maybe that can be achieved at some other tracks as well. So yeah, definitely the opportunity to use this as a springboard and good momentum heading into the following races on the calendar. Noah, fantastic drive from you today. Big congratulations on the podium finish, and look forward to seeing how you get on Nürburgring next week.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Noah. Take care. Fantastic. Speaking to our P2 and P3 drivers respectively, but I think there might just happen to be one man that's a tad happier than those two on the podium. Michael Moning, the pole position to start things off. We spoke about the momentum building from last week and a pole position of the first North American pole of the Case King Pro Series history, and then to convert it into a race win, pressure all the way to the end from the winningest driver in Case King Pro Series history. You couldn't have made it much more special, buddy. How are you feeling after that one?
I'm so nervous. It still doesn't feel like I truly belong here, but we're getting there. Nerves are coming down. I'm so hyped. I mean, earlier this week, I was trying some different stuff with the setup, and it was feeling good. I obviously could tell the Ford was a tad underbobbed, not more than a tad, but yeah, going into the practice session for the race, I wasn't feeling too great, and then I was setting great laps compared to most, even in the Ford. And I mean, qualifying just went perfect, and then race, it was going perfect. I missed my box, so I pitted exactly when I wanted to pit. Pit entry was great, and then I just missed my box, and I was like, oh, that's it. That's the race. So I got my 3 warnings like in the 3 laps right after the pit stop as well.
Wow.
And that caused a lot of hesitancy like throughout the rest of the race. Obviously the last lap going through the chicane, I might have brake checked him a little bit going through it because I was not about to get a drive through. I would have rather gotten punted than get a drive through, and somehow he didn't. And this is crazy. I know the Mustang was underbopped, but I am hoping to beat those BOP allegations again because I'm super happy with that.
I mean, I think it's fair to say, the thing is, if nothing else, there's been a lot of Mustangs in this server this evening, driven by a lot of drivers with proven winning history. And so, regardless of whether or not, one car, maybe it's inevitable. Sometimes it's going to be a week where one car is particularly strong relative to another. It's the back and forth we go through every single time that we go racing. But the fact is, even if you look to take out some of those other cars from the equation, all of those other Mustangs, George Boothby, Noah Reeder, Marco Bischoff, Aidan Walsingham, all drivers that have consistently often been at the pointy end of the grid. And the fact is that on that fair level playing field, that you beat them all. So regardless of those other elements, you have so much to be immensely proud of. And what's a spring of momentum of going from just one, strength to strength from the last few weeks, and just a fantastic display from you today. I have to, I'd love to kind of get your picture inside the cockpit, because like I say, that, you know, when you missed your box there, and you thought that might be it, over and done with. Similarly, we had George Boothby in his car thinking that when he saw that it was a lot closer than he was expecting, that he thought almost, but not quite. And it was, you know, it was so tight. But those final laps, you know, Boothby, a little bit of fresher tyres, had like just maybe a little bit more grip to work with, of course, a bit more confidence. I think he was throwing the car around over some of those apex a bit more aggressively with those track limit warnings. You know, how much were you driving on your mirrors on that final lap, or was it just a case of, you know, trying not to think about Boothby behind you lurking, hunting for an opportunity, and just keep it tidy, because it's a tricky circuit to overtake at, and then get to the flag?
Ever since I got the third warning, it was all about just like the track limits. I honestly, like, I stopped caring about where he was, and I was just like, I am not getting another track cut, because like I just want this podium. I wish I got it last week. Obviously that got revoked due to a penalty that got appealed, but I just wanted a podium this week. I would have settled for second, but it was very nerve-wracking though. It's still amazing to me that I can even be competing with all these guys that a year ago I was like a second off pace, and I'm like, what? How are these guys doing this? And now it's just all falling into place, and yeah.
That it has, Michael, and I could also tell you that there are a lot of people that are absolutely delighted for you. They've been cheering you on, cheering you on every single week, but they were ecstatic after the pole position, and as they were seeing that race come together, that they were cheering you all the way to the checkered flag, and are celebrating in the chat as we speak, as they've seen you take to the top step of the podium. A momentous day for yourself, and so many moments surrounding this race in terms of history within the Case King Pro Series as well. Such a close finish to the end of that one, and like I say, you know, the first North American pole, the first North American win. You did the North American podium last week. Just a whole series of statistics and milestones achieved in the space of a couple of weeks, so you have an immense amount to be proud of. Whilst I'm sure that you will be looking to live in this moment for a while, do want to cast your mind to next week when we head to the Nürburgring, which from what we've spoken to so far is looking to potentially be at a state where the Mustang is in a good place once again. Are we thinking we could continue this run of form into that one as well, or how are we feeling into that? Or is it a bit too much to comprehend with coming off the back of that race?
Nürburgring was the first track I drove in the Mustang, and I was feeling good at it back then, and I obviously think I've improved since then, but I will have to experiment with some, because I heard George talking about how he can devour that chicane, and I was not taking that line back then, so I think I can make my way. I don't know if it's going to be this strong again, because I think some people will be looking to bop the Ford a little better this upcoming week. But I mean, obviously, I think I can do something. I think I could get like a top 10, top 5. I think it's doable.
I think it's fair to say, based on the last couple of weeks, there's a good shout. Absolutely. Also, I will say that unfortunately, we have had a couple of technical issues in the comms box tonight, and I must admit that during part of the final moments of the race, the stream did go down. But do not fear too much. I did manage to at least record it locally, and it will go up onto the YouTube channel, because I still wanted to make sure that you could relive these moments, especially, and for those that have been cheering you on at home, because it's been an absolutely fantastic evening of racing. So those final laps and everything are still captured on that front. So you can go over to the channel and listen to it all there, Michael, because what a fantastic day for you, and one to celebrate, and with all those that have been cheering you on. Michael, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you once again for the last couple of weeks. A huge congratulations to you for today's win. So deserved. Cannot wait to see how you get on next week at the Nürburgring.
Thank you. I just want to thank a couple people, because I made a promise. Oh, obviously I want to thank Samantha Tan, because this has been a journey, obviously, SRO. And I mean, this is going insane. We'll get a livery going the next week, finally. And then Jason Allen, he needs to be thanked as well. So. And obviously, SRA, everyone over there. They've been given great support, so that's all. But thank you very much. I really appreciate I really appreciate you having me here.
So do we, because you put on an absolutely incredible performance that so many of us have been able to enjoy this evening. What a fight to the end, what a well-deserved victory. Michael, lovely, warm note to be ending on for that one, and so much to look forward to for the coming races as well. You can sit down, relax for the evening with a big smile on your face after that incredibly intense last sort of hour of action that we have had. Thank you so much for popping in for an interview. Congratulations once again, and we look forward to possibly, I'm quite sure, talking to you again very, very soon, mate.
Thank you. I absolutely hope to see you then.
Fantastic, Michael. Take care.
Thank you. You too.
Great stuff to talk to your race winner for the evening, who, as some of you have pointed out in the chat, was so quick that he broke the internet for a second time. Unfortunately, I have no idea what's gone on this evening, and I thought that everything would be fine. How wrong I was. So, unfortunately, this has been a rather broken up stream, but at least since those final 10 minutes or so of the race until now, we have been recording, so this will go up on the YouTube channel, which I imagine is where you're watching from right now. So that has been the fourth round of the Case King Pro Series. What an absolutely incredible evening of racing that these guys have put on. And we will try to hunt through our results. We can go through our results for this evening. And you can see that Michael Moning has finished P1 for the very first time by just half a second ahead of George Boothby with Noida Walsingham, making it Mustangs 1, 2, 3, and 4 with Niter, Alexander Karekas, Minar, Huben, Delfanda, Campanella, Karpinen, Barrett, Gaskell, and Gamble making your way to the end of the top 15 with DeCampo, Roda, McCoskey, Proel, Vassner, Lawrence, Steyer, Bischoff, Poznikov, Schneckenberger, Kolosov, Duran, Reinders, Van Thielen and Zahentner to the end of the top 30. Those last four, unfortunately, DNFing from the race. And then your last two DNS of the evening, Luke Addison and Patrick Lipka. So, Hungary, we knew it was going to be a track that was going to be special. It was going to be a track that was going to put on a whole host of chaos, carnage, and action, and it is delivered in bucket loads. What an incredible evening of action it has put together for us. It has certainly been a dramatic one. I think we managed to make it to just one follow away from 3,800 in all of that, which, considering the shenanigans that we had in the last half an hour or so, a big thank you to all of those that did follow along the way to tune in for this one. It's been an absolutely incredible evening of action, and hopefully you've enjoyed at least reliving these moments on YouTube, even if unfortunately the Twitch stream did go and collapse. I will try to bounce back, as will some of our other drivers from the evening after having some difficult times on circuit. The comms box will also try to bounce back into better form going into next week as well, and fingers crossed this is the last time that we have these issues. But I'm sure for a lot of you supporting Michael at home, you'll be hoping this is not the last time that we see him on the top step of the podium. And the way that he's driving at the moment, I find it difficult to believe that it will be. What a fantastic evening of action he's put on, and the momentum that he has carried forward over the last few weeks, and will continue to do so, I have no doubt. So thank you everybody so much for watching. If you did enjoy this racing stream, what of it you did see anyway, then do consider giving the Twitch channel a follow, where you can tune in for all of the live action going forward. As we did just hit 3,800 followers on Twitch, so big thank you to all of you over there. That is very kind of you, especially with the issues that we've had this evening. So do consider giving a channel a follow over there. It was almost like you could hear me live right now, and you can tune in for all that amazing action week on week in to that one. And then of course head over to where you are likely right now, the YouTube channel, if you want to catch up on all the action and the streams from this wonderful championship. And if you fancy getting behind the wheel yourself and getting involved in the action, you can also head over to the localmotorsport.com website, get yourself a license, work your way up through the ranks, compete in the likes of the Pro Series, and compete for some fantastic prizes. And if you also want to head over to Daily Racing, Duo Cup, Endurance, all that sort of shenanigans is available. And if ACC isn't quite your cup of tea, you can also head over to Assetto Corsa 1 as well, hosted on the LFM platform, as well as some voluntary off-roading if you wish to do so. And we saw a few cars on the grass this evening, but a bit more straightforward and set up in your favour in WRC, the Club Championship, available as well for you to partake in. And if you just want to be a part of this ever-growing amazing community, you can join the Discord server as well. And get involved in all of the wonderful action there too, and be a part of this family that will welcome you on in. You can share all the good things, sim racing and real racing, perhaps even pictures of your dogs and cats as well, and it'd be wonderful to have you all there too. But that is going to be it then for this evening. Thank you very so much for watching. What an evening, what a day of racing here at Hungary. Cannot wait to see where we go next in terms of the championship fight when we head to the Nürburgring for round number 5 of the season. It's going to be a cracker. Do not miss it. Look forward to seeing as many of you there as possible. But for tonight then, it's goodbye.